Hey everybody, okay, so I had a couple people ask me if I would, let me mirror my, okay, it's mirrored. If I would, let me mirror my, okay, it's mirrored. If I would cut into the pie, I've got friends there, I guess they really want me to send them a piece of pie. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cut into the lemon meringue, because I got, like I said, I made that one for Dad, so I gotta cut some pieces out. Hey Ronnie, how you doing, buddy? So I'm gonna cut into the pie. Let me get it out. Can't believe people want to see me cut. So I'm gonna cut into the pie. Let me get it out. Can't believe people want to see me cut into the pie. All right, we're gonna cut into the lemon. All right, so I've done a lot worse. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna cut into the pie. I don't know. We'll see how it turned out, okay? And hey Millie, and Ronnie, and yeah, we'll see from there. So let's see here. I'll just kind of go in there like that. I kind of like yeah, we'll see from there. So let's see here. I'll just kind of go in there like that. I kind of like this pie cutter because then I can cut into it. And sometimes it just depends on how thick I made the crust. That's why you kind of keep it thin. But if you remember this crust yesterday and you go back in the videos and take a look, see, did I get it out right? Did I get it all cut? I think I did. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Alright. Oh. Did not cut that side well though. Hold on. There we go. Are we ready? This is a piece. Here, let me. Yeah. It's my pie, so. Piece of lemon. I don't want to call it meringue, just lemon pie, because I did not put the meringue on it. If you want to see what it looks like in the middle there, there you go. Alright. Now, moment of truth. Does it taste good? Because like I said, I made this with you guys last night. So, here we are. That's good. It's one of my favorite pies. That's why I make it. And this is the way my dad likes it. That's why I put a little extra. So as you can see, and by the way, did you notice one thing about my pies? I don't use food coloring. So one thing about when you make pies, they actually tell you if you want the yellow of the pie to put in food coloring. I don't put in food coloring. I don't put anything. This is from the lemon itself. You guys watched me make it. You watch me put the lemon peel in, which gives it the zest. The lemon peel itself gives this. And by the way, you have to be very, very careful with the lemon peel. Hey, Blanca. You gotta be very, very careful with the lemon peel, because if you put too much in, you'll taste then like if you're actually chewing into the rind of a peel, or the peel of the lemon. And you don't want to do that. You want the zest flavor, which is the lemon flavor. And if you put too much lemon juice in, then it overrides the sugar. I know that sounds weird, but remember, lemon is an acid. That's the reason why you can wash your windows, wash countertops and stuff with lemon, because it cleans if you use it in its pure form. People don't wash and stuff with lemon because it cleans if you use it in its pure form. People don't believe me when I say that, but look it up. I'm telling you it's true. So, a little bit of zest, the lemon oil. Now what the butter does is it gives it a nice leveled out flavor. You guys saw me put the butter in yesterday. But you put that in kind of at the end. So, and then of course the crust, when I made the crust, turned out great. Now, when I added the extra egg, softer instead of a flakier. And the reason why you want a little bit of softer with this particular pie is when you're digging into it, you kind of want your fork to go in. It won't crack after with this particular pie. Is when you're digging into it, you kind of want your fork to go in. It won't crack everywhere. Now, the strawberry pie, it's very flaky. It'll be very flaky, which is good. That's what people like. It won't crack everywhere. Now, the strawberry pie, it's very flaky. It'll be very flaky, which is good. That's what people like. And they get a nice little crunch. This here, very good. So, that's what it is. So, everybody doing it? Talk a little bit. I still got to take the pies over to Father. I went over there earlier, but this is a Sunday and they weren't home, so I'll have to take them back over again tomorrow, which will be good. So, and that's why I like to use whipped topping. I'm not a big, believe it or not, I don't eat them going. So, you know, tastes good. I'm going. So, you know, tastes good. Encourage you to share it live and invite more friends. It's funny, TikTok always pushes you to try to invite more people and everything else, and I'm only on to show you the pie and to taste it. I can't cut into strawberry pies, they're not mine, they're for somebody else. I cut into these because I will cut up in pieces and I'll put it in a thing for my dad so I can take it to him this week. My dad's very important to me, and he loves my lemon pies. Problem is, for the last couple days he got apple, then he got strawberry, then he's gonna get lemon, and then tomorrow I'm making pecan pie. And I'm making these for him while he's up there. I give him pieces and I give it to everybody else. I don't know how many of you guys like pecan pie. There's a debate when I was in the Marine Corps. It was really funny. Here in the Midwest, here in Quincy, Illinois, where I'm from, all right, we say pecan. And a family that, when I was in the Marine Corps, that kind of adopted me, who I love to death. They're great. It's a great family. They say pecan. And it always drove me crazy when people say pecan. It's like, I'm from Illinois, and people that are not from Illinois, they pronounce the S on Illinois, so they call it Illinois. And if you're from Illinois, it's one of those just pet peeves that drives you crazy when you hear somebody pronounce the S on Illinois. But we always got in this debate because they make excellent pecan pies in North Carolina. And when I was living there, when I was on the Marine Corps base, whenever I was in the States and I wasn't deployed, I would always go over there and I'd always like make something for the family, whether I do a rake of roast or a strawberry pie or a pecan pie, or, you know, make a bread, because there was like make something for the family, whether I do a rake of roast or a strawberry pie or a pecan pie, or, you know, make a bread, because there was they had a little girl by the name of Mitty, and then Martha, and then Lainey. Just a beautiful family. I love them to death. A great family. And they were family of mine. Not blood family, but they were great. And their Aunt Kitty, that her name is Catherine, but they called her Kitty for short. Just a great family. But they called it pecan pie. Let's eat some pecan pie. Okay, it's pecan. Not pecan, it's pecan. And me and Martha, the mother, we get into a debate. We go back and forth. And she was just the greatest. God bless her soul. She's no longer with us. And I thought the world of her, because we always got into these pecan debates. And it was like, we could go on for hours. But no, it's pecan. No, it's pecan. So it was also when I was taking classes at Campbell University, because whenever I was in the States, Campbell University also was on base, and it went on the ship with us. So, hey Kim, hey Alicia, hey Paul, hey Dean, how are you guys doing today? So, like I said, that's just a funny story from when I was in the Marine Corps, and there were some people that they don't even know how to make Jell-O, and that I was in the Corps with, and then they had wives, and they would ask me, can you teach my wife how? I'm like, no. I was like, why would I do that? I was like 18 and 19 at the time, and they're like, dude, and I didn't believe them. So I go to the house, and they're like, no, really, watch. And these are some of my best friends, but they were married coming into the Marine Corps, and they themselves and their wives couldn't even make Jell-O. I'm not sure how hard it is to boil water, add a package of Jell-O, and then put it in the refrigerator. Not sure how hard that is, but they couldn't do it, so it was kind of funny. I know that I want to hear some of you guys' mistakes. I'll tell you one of my mistakes I made the other day, which I think I told you guys live on this yesterday, is I was boiling bananas. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok, and I'm sure you've seen it, but this is an actual remedy. Carrot juice. You make carrots. Put carrots. I guess I'll have to make a video on it. But you chop up carrots, full carrots. By the way, baby carrots, for all you people out there, baby carrots are actually big carrots, just cut down. Okay, they're not. There's no such thing as growing baby carrots. All right. And I've had people that actually have asked me, they're like, oh, well, you grow your, because I grow carrots. And they're like, do you grow the baby carrots too? Because I like them the best. They taste sweeter. And I'm like, you do realize those are big carrots cut down, right? And they never knew that. Most people don't. I don't know why people think that they're specially grown. They're not. It's not like taking a little Brussels sprout and saying it's a miniature cabbage. Brussels sprouts, they do grow on a... Anyway, I grow all that in my garden. But anyway, so I was getting the banana. So in order to release the tryptophan... what's the stuff called? I'm sorry, brain fart. So you boil the peel, and you boil the banana. And you get it going, because that will release the vitamins and stuff. And the best part, the part of the banana that's got the most vitamins, just like with a lemon, is actually the peel. Okay, so believe it or not, if you boil down a banana, just hot water, just put it on the stove, boil it, be careful, but put a wooden spoon on top of, don't put the lid on, put a wooden spoon over it, that way it won't boil over, but it'll get really, really hot. Then you take a carrot, cut up a carrot, about 6 carrots, maybe 3 carrots, get the long ones. They're cheaper if you buy the full carrots. Just wash them, peel them if you want, or don't, it doesn't matter to me. And then cut them up, put them in your blender, put them in your Ninja. I've got a Ninja. And then fill it halfway with water. And then, turn it into pulp. And then carrot juice. And then what you do is you strain out all the carrot juice, take the pulp, put it back in there, put a little more water in with it. And then you set the pulp aside. Then you take your bananas, let it cool down a little bit. Don't do what I did, because I was in a hurry and I was rushing, okay? I took the banana and I put it in the Ninja. I put it in, I dumped the water and everything. This is because that's where you're getting the vitamins, but you got to bring it back down. And remember, it's going to get all gooey. It's going to look like a green mush. Or sorry, a gray mush, not a green mush, but a gray mush. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Jacob. Hey, farm guy. And then when you get it down, I'll show you. I got some right here. So once you have it, I do 2 different kinds. I do kinds with just the liquid, and I do the kind with it. So then you put the banana in. You basically get it all the way down to where it's a liquid or more of a pulp type. This is more the liquid. This is the pulp part. And then what you do is then you take the juices and you put them together and you get them all mixed up. Now what I like to do then is I like to take both of them, the pulp, and put it all together, and then I make it. It's an energy. It actually acts as an energy. That's all it is. If you want though to make it a little better, it'll taste like carrot. And if you don't like carrot, you're probably not going to like this. But take cinnamon. Okay, take regular cinnamon, not cinnamon sugar. Don't put any sugar in this. Just take cinnamon, because cinnamon's actually good for you. Okay, and a drop of vanilla. And if you do it right, I always recommend, I've got both. One of the things that's really, really good for you, but I recommend getting your own muddler and doing this. I don't trust store stuff. But this is clove, okay? And basically comes out of India. This is a little clove. This has a great smell. It's really good for you. Muddle it yourself with a muddler. Just a pedestal and a muddler, and put it in there. And it's really good for you. It's great for several different things. There's all kinds of vegetables and fruits and stuff that you can mix up. It's one of my favorites because then that takes away the carrot flavor, and you get more. Now you're getting more of the sugar from the actual carrot and the sugar from the banana. And because of the peels, you definitely don't ever want to just try just the peels, because those are disgusting. But they work really good. How you doing, farm guy? Just going over some of the stuff that, since I grow in my garden, and then farm guy. just going over some of the stuff that, since I grow in my garden and then we bring it inside. They've got books on here on TikTok. They also have books on Amazon. They got books at your local store over all the different things you can combine and mix that are good for you, that can act for your health. And I always tell people, get your kids, experiment. Find out the stuff you like, the stuff you don't like. The reason why is because if you got good health, now everybody tells you things that taste great. They don't. Not everything tastes great. Not everybody likes carrot. Not everybody likes banana. I was talking to some people yesterday, and yes, I like peanut butter. I just don't like that much peanut butter, and there are some people that have allergies to different things. But if you experiment with stuff and just mix fruit around a little bit and some vegetables around a little bit, just like my grandma used to do. Whenever you're canning and stuff, you take a little extra. I know my family used to experiment a little bit when we do a lot of canning. And I know my aunts and uncles, we also freeze a lot of corn, and we dehydrate a lot of stuff. Whenever we unalive like certain deer or rabbit or something like that, we can make jerky and stuff out of it. I know there are people that are vegetarians. I know there are people that are vegans. I know, and that's fine, because everybody has something they like and they don't like. All right. I used to drink a lot of milk. I don't drink much milk anymore. Just because once you get to a certain age, it's not actually good for you, even though they try to push it on people. So the whole point is get your kids, get your family. Yes, I know I'm single, but yeah, somebody asked me that. And make your own energy drinks. If you want, you guys have heard of that 5-hour energy, right? This is not a promotion for 5-hour energy whatsoever. But look up how they started making it. It came from a cab driver, I believe, in China. And he had this concoction that he put together and made it. And it's just a bunch of vitamins put together. And it turned out that's where you got 5-hour energy. Red Bull, they use a lot of synthesized taurine and stuff like that. It's not good for you. High fructose corn syrup, that much of it's not good for you. Anything that's in the diet family, meaning if it says diet, you have to be very careful, because the stuff they use to make diet sodas and stuff like that cause cancer, and now they're linking it to things like Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff. I remember that my mom back in the 80s, if you guys had family members back in the 80s, they were on this NutraSweet diet. Oh, I can't tell you how much I hate NutraSweet, because it might have a sweet taste, but it's also got that nasty taste to it. Oh, but what I was starting out to say is, yeah, so when I took the lid off of my Ninja because Ninjas, these are, you have it upside down and the blade goes right here. So when I undid it, because I had it hot, all over my kitchen, went everywhere. And it got on me, and it was scalding hot. Just because I put it in when it was warm, and whenever you did it, it was releasing all of the stuff. And yeah, it turned it part gas, part heat. And I blew up a banana. That's probably the first time I ever blew up a banana. I've blown up a lot of things. I've blown up watermelons and stuff before, so. And my cousins are the best at growing watermelons. I've blown up watermelons and stuff before, so. And my cousins are the best at growing watermelons. I got a lot of cousins that they do a really good job. They all have gardens and stuff, which is pretty cool. And especially the younger ones, they do it for like 4-H and stuff. So, Ernest, how you doing? Michaela, how you doing? Jackie, how you doing? Muscle Mama, how you doing? But yeah, what did we start this with? I was showing the pie. That's what we started with. That's why we've been on here. I was out in the garden. I had to water my garden. It looked like rain, but I ended up having to put water on it. My corn is actually going to be, it's going to be higher than my knees. It's knee high by the 4th of July. It'll probably be waist high by the 4th of July, because we did get it in a little bit early. The weather's actually been pretty nice for it. It's been cold, but as long as that sun is out, it's not going to bother it, as long as it doesn't go down below freezing or anything. And being here in the Midwest, we probably shouldn't get any more freezing temperatures. I mean, this is May, so we are going into summertime now, so we're doing pretty good. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Laughing Dove. Hey, Sean. And also, hey, guys, type in where you're from, too. I like to know where everybody's from. There are different things I like to, like, I've been to all 50 states. When I was in the Marine Corps, I've been to all kinds of different countries. And then I know that we've experimented. I don't know if you guys have ever had like a Yugoslavian squash before. It's like a 5-pointed star when it gets done. They actually taste pretty good. We did spaghetti squash a couple times. However, we had so much, I couldn't even give the stuff away for free. I mean, I was just giving it to people. We had so much spaghetti squash, and the store charges like $3 or $4 per spaghetti squash or something like that. I'm sitting there trying to give it away because it was just so abundant. And the shells get so hard, it turns really, really hard on the outside. That was a fun one we did. And my family's always liked squash. I'm not a big squash eater. I do love watermelon. I especially love honeydew, and I like a good cantaloupe, stuff like that. And we also, one of the things I miss, and I have a recipe, I haven't made it. My mom, my mom used to make bread and butter pickles. So we grow cucumbers, and Mom would make these bread and butter pickles. And as a kid, they were all right, but you have different taste buds as kids. You know, you're wanting more of the. Anyway, now I really like bread and butter pickles, and I have not made my mom's recipe for that yet. And bread and butter pickles were one of her specialties. That, and she made this, she did Boston brown bread, and back in the 50s or 60s or 70s, she also made the paper and a couple cookbooks for her stuffed peppers, Boston brown bread, and my mom made some really good food. So did my grandmas. Both my grandmas were outstanding cooks. They also could farm and garden and weed, and this was not just anybody that says, no. My family all had to work together. They were big families. My dad's side's a big family. My mom's side has a big family, and everybody has their jobs. Everybody works the same stuff. If somebody's sick, the other person picks it up and carries it on. So I never grew up in a world where women do one thing and men do it. No, everybody does everything, period. And that's how farmers, that's how people in the Midwest, that's how communities actually function. So there wasn't really a sexist thing going on. Never had racism around me either. It wasn't a thing because everybody just got along because everybody had to work together. People didn't care who you were. As long as you showed up, as long as you came to the parties, I mean, I like my hometown. I like where I'm from. So, anyway, I'm just kind of babbling now, but like I said, it's nice to like where you're from. Granted, every small town, every city, you get your rumor, your gossip, you get all that drama, but that happens everywhere. Just because you're not from somewhere, when you go there, it seems like it doesn't happen there, it does. So it doesn't matter if you pick up and move, things like that happen, and guess what? People are still awesome. And the best thing to do is, when people get sick or something happens or somebody celebrates, everybody comes out to celebrate with each other. And that's awesome. Like, I go to church, and in my radius, we have Lutheran, Methodist, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, Islam. We have all these different religions here. And everybody comes to everybody's functions. They may not go to the church with you, but they come to the functions that the churches have to support each other. And you know what? They talk really good about each other. And when I was in North Carolina, which where I was at when I was in the Marine Corps, it was a lot of Southern Baptists. Wow. And I didn't understand how many different types of Baptists there were. But I always wanted to go to the different churches and the different things to see, and you had the ones that stand up and they do all the singing. You had the others that are always baptizing. You had another one that they're really strict. But you know what? After the churches and during, everybody eats together. Everybody has fun together. It's not what we see on TV or through the news, And that's the reason why when bad things happen, it's hard for people in these communities to understand what's going on because no one's judging each other in the communities. I've never been taught to judge anybody, unless you're lazy, and then I might have to light a fire under your butt in order to get you to go and do something. But it's actually been pretty great. I mean, if you love your community, put it on there, you know? And like I said, I do come from one. Yes, there's negative stuff that happens all the time, you know? There are bad people out there. There are bad things that go on. But, you know, majority of the people are good. 99.9% of the people are actually good. And I don't care about a person's political preference or who they like for president or anything like that. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. And there was a movie once. Where was it? They had I think it's called All the President's Men. Anyway, they were both running because there was an assassin or whatever coming after him. And one was Republican, one was Democrat. And then they decided to run together because basically they both had bad policies, you know. And, you know, people... No one's ever going to be happy with whoever's in office. And but you also have to really put yourself behind whoever's there. It's kind of like in the different religions, the popes and presidents and stuff like that, because you want them to do good. You know, you don't want somebody to go downhill, or you don't want somebody to fail, because if they fail, it hurts everybody. So that's the best way to look at it. So don't, like, the only reason I'm saying is somebody was asking me about politics. Somebody was asking. Now, I do have a couple on here. I know you guys don't see everything coming up on the screen, but I do. They were asking me about, you know, the branches of Marine Corps. Yes, I am a Marine. I'm a very proud Marine. Yes, I go hooting and hollering. Yes, I go oorah all the time. And yes, I do Semper Fi. And yes, Marines can point each other out of the crowd. Majority of my friends, though, are Army and Navy because of this area that I'm in. Marines have a smaller group. And believe it or not, we support each other, okay? It's just like brothers and sisters, you know, getting along. You know, we can't do our job without each other. And there are people out there that when we make fun of each other and we have our reality in life for military is a harsh lifestyle. It's a hurry up and wait. It's a hurry up and go. It's go, go, go. Everybody's, you know, you got to go to places where people don't like you. But you're also working with each other. So it's a constant competition. It's not hate. It's competition. And no matter what you do, it's always going to be competition. But at the end of the competition, you want to know something? You actually root for the other person. And you pat them on the back. Yes, you want to do better than the other person. But you're also rooting for the other person. And the reason why you're doing that is because you know that if something happens to you, that's the person that has to get you out. If something happens to the Marines, it's the Army and the Navy that have to get us out. If something happens to the Navy or the Army, it's the Marines that are going to go get you out, okay? The biggest one right now is the 101st Airborne versus the Marine Corps, because the Army can be anywhere within like a certain amount. But Marines are stationed on ships everywhere. So we can park outside of any country in the world and stay there indefinitely. But the airborne has to be dropped in. You gotta, you know, so there's the big debate with that too. But when it comes down to it, I'll buy a drink for any veteran, anybody that served their country, and I'll pat them on the back. I'll give them a hug and I'll tell them welcome home no matter what. And I had an uncle in Vietnam. I had uncles, great uncles in World War II. And I know they got demons. And, you know, all we can do is love them, and if they ever want to talk, we're there for them. And you know what? I tell everybody welcome home, because sometimes it's not the idea, they're not welcomed home in their head. I know, you know, I've had issues and stuff like that, but you know, I take my stuff out on cooking and baking and running and working out and biking and gardening. So that answers your question. Hey Bella, hey BN, how you guys doing? So that's the whole point with all that. I'm going to take another bite of my pie here while you guys ask questions or whatever. If you guys want to ask me anything, you're more than welcome to. So, I don't have anything to hide. I'm kind of an open book. You know. I don't put so much with me and my dad right now. Because he is recovering in the nursing home. And, I want to make sure he's okay. You will see pictures and stuff of him and I. But the Boss Babe from Texas, she really wants a pie. You didn't tell me what kind of pie you want though. The one thing I keep thinking of is, en route, it doesn't matter if it's with dry ice or not, if it turns over it ruins the pie because it's going to fall out. And you can pack it tight. If it turns over, it ruins the pie because it's going to fall out. And you can pack it tight. I guess I could, if I would take a pie and not put the whipped topping on it, and I sealed it in a plastic baggie which is air sealed it in a plastic baggie which is airtight, going all around the bag. Even if it went over, it wouldn't go everywhere. That could probably work. And then put in with dry ice, that might work. Then I could ship them to anybody that wanted it. I wonder how many people would actually buy pies from me if I made pies. If you'd buy a pie from me after seeing all my pies and bread videos, let me know. I don't even know. I wouldn't even know what to charge for something like that. Because like I said, everything I do, I usually use my own stuff. I mean, I love to do it. I had two restaurants before asked me, local restaurants, if I would make them pies. I can make them that fast. Like I said, I don't know. What if you didn't? What if? Like I said, I don't know. What if you didn't? What if you got my pie and you didn't like it, right? Then I'd feel bad. I had to charge you for something. But then again, there's those people out there that if you give the money back to them, they'll say they don't like the pie, just get money back. You love all kinds of pie. My dad's favorite, he liked, but his favorite is pecan pie. Actually, his favorite cake, though, is German chocolate cake. And I make that pie. Actually, his favorite cake, though, is German chocolate cake. And I make that for him every year on his birthday. I'm not big on coconut. It's one of the one things I don't like very much. Coconut is I don't like the texture of coconut. I don't like the grit. So coconut has never been something of mine that I liked. I guess you could say I make stuff with it. And I think my mom knew that because she'd make stuff with coconut in it all the time. These coconut cookies or these coconut rounds or these coconut cream pies and stuff like that. And I wouldn't eat it because I didn't like coconut. I do now, but I used to not like cottage cheese either. I do like cottage cheese now. There's very few things I don't like. Like I said, I'm a foodie. And it's always good. So, like I said, it's pretty good with that stuff. So I do like a lot of pies. But I know that's what you guys are seeing me. This summer I'll probably do some videos over some barbecue and doing some dry rubs and some wet rubs, which are not my recipes. They are my uncle's. I got a couple uncles that really are big into barbecue and stuff. The barbecue competitions that I've actually helped participate in, the only reason why I won was because I grow the Carolina Reapers and the Black Reapers, and they are they were the world's hottest pepper. They have another one, but they're coming out with another Reaper. I think it's the next generation. It's the only one I haven't tried yet. And the skull oil level in that one's going to be about 3 million right there. I think right now they're about 2.3. You'd have to go over to Wicked Pepper. Oh, what's the name of that site? The guy grows them out in California. I grow them here in Quincy, and I do hydroponics, and I grow them inside and I grow them outside. And I give it to people for chili competitions, and I give it to people for wing competitions. And I'm not doing it for taste with this one, okay? Because if you eat it, most people will never even get to the taste because the heat, the capsaicin hits you first. But if anybody has ulcers and you can figure out how to do it, if you can take the pain, that capsaicin in that will actually kill the bacteria that causes stomach ulcers. And as long as you're not eating anything like anything acidic, like milk, ice cream, fast food, stuff like that for a month, and it kills it, and you give it your stomach time to heal, you can actually kill that bacteria. That is awesome. She's my California friend out there in Cali. Nicole is awesome. How you doing, Nicole? Nicole's here in Quincy. She's a friend of mine here in Quincy. She's awesome. Hey, White Mustachio and the Video Man. How you doing, the Video Man? Hope you guys are going good. We were just talking about pies and me sending out pies to people if people want a pie from me. And if I can figure out how to pack it and ship it, That would be the only way. Like I said, me, I like if I make a pie for somebody, I make it fresh and I take it directly to them. Then you get a fresh pie because you get all that flavor. And I don't use anything extra other than what recipes I've created and my mom's created. My mom's since been gone. She's been gone since I was 10 years old. She died. She passed on of cancer. And so my mom's not around anymore. Neither are my grandmas. But they instilled in a lot of stuff in me. That's why I let you know that a lot of stuff comes from them because they're the ones who taught me. You know, I have stood on the backs of giants to get where I'm at today. And I know I've had a lot of tomatoes thrown at me. But especially my dad, you know, he hoisted me up on his shoulders when I couldn't see, and he always kept me there. And, you know, he's always been my number one person. So, and I love him to death. And I wish he wouldn't have had the stroke, but he did. So, anyway, give me just a second, okay? So I got to put this on a chart. Just a second. Sorry about that. My phone's going to die on me. I was with the garden earlier. I'm still might take you guys out to the garden. I don't know if... I was with the garden earlier. I'm still might take you guys out to the garden. I don't know if you guys would want to see the garden or not. You guys can actually go on here and see, but I can take you outside and show it to you if you want. Let me get this on the charger here. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay, it's on. I got it on a charger now. It's not the full charger, but it's a charger. All right. It's not the full charger, but it's a charger. All right. It's a little chilly today. So let me know what you guys are doing, where you're from. Hey, JY. Hey, Mal. So if you're anywhere from Illinois, let me know. Put in the comments where you guys are from. Because like I said, it is Sunday. Sun is shining, but it is chilly out. I had a sweatshirt on earlier. But, yeah. Let me know what you're doing today. If you're military, let me know what branch you're from. Or what branch you served in. Hey, Drew Davis, man, how you doing? So, also, if you're from another country, let me know what country you're from. And you'd be surprised, just because I've actually met people overseas, and I always stayed in contact with them. So when social media came up, I had all these friends that I made friends with while everywhere from over in Kosovo to Croatia, Malta, Italy, Rome, Greece, especially around Thessaloniki. I got to see King Philip II's tomb. That was awesome. So that's pretty neat. Down in Central and South America, we were down in Panama. We were one of the last Marine Corps units in Panama to turn the Panama Canal over to the Panamanians. And the people in Panama are awesome. It's probably one of the greatest places. A lot of my friends, their roots come from Mexico and Central America, because the majority of the guys I served with were of a Hispanic background, just because we were deployed down to Central and South America a lot. Except our doc, his family's from Brazil, so he spoke Portuguese, which was funny because he didn't want to translate for anybody. Now, doc, if you ever want to know what a doc is in the Marine Corps, doc is actually a Navy corpsman, okay? Which is pretty cool. We protect our corpsmen like more than we protect ourselves, because corpsmen are just they're the bread and butter. You know, they're the ones who make sure we get it out. Okay, the other people we protect is our chefs, our cooks. People think that no. Marines like their food. And we are very protective of our cooks and stuff, because they have to come out to the field too, and they get deployed just like we do. Okay, everybody's got to eat. We can't always eat MREs, meals ready to eat. The ones we give, I think, since I'm infantry, the ones we gave the hardest time to, besides Pogues, which I love them guys too, but because they do your paperwork, are motor T. And the reason why we get into a motor T is they get to drive everywhere. and they complain when they got to come out to the field and pick somebody up, or they have to be on the road at the same time we are because it's like 400 or whatever it is, and they complain. Yet we're the ones that are walking and they're riding, and they've got heated cabins inside their vehicles and we don't. So I always tell them to, if you want to look up Tootsie Roll during the Korean War, and that's your motor T. And during the Korean War, they just go look it up. I'm not going to give you a history lesson. I'm kind of boring you to death by doing that. Edgar, what's up, Edgar? Edgar Hernandez. What's up, Edgar? Love your brother. How you doing? Omar, Jay. A lot of the guys that I'm friends with are weapons company and weapons platoon, which is different. They're 0341, 0351, 03. What am I saying? I'm an 0311. So everybody else, I kind of get them all kind of backwards a little bit, but they get attached to us, and that's like your 50 cals. They have a 50 cal plus a barrel, extra barrel, plus the tripods. And then you got your Mark 19, which is one piece, but you got your ammunition for it. Plus you've got the tripod. So, and then you've got your mortars, the guys that do the mortars. You got your guys that do the javelins, and you got your guys that do the toes. Toes are with a small little guided with a string. That's not a string, it's like a wire. But the new javelins don't have that. It's a fire and forget weapon, but they're bigger. They're with weapons platoon, and then they get attached to us, which one, so that we can do our missions correctly. They're awesome, and like I said, to this day, I'm friends with almost everybody. They're awesome, and I know my buddy Boynton. He's an MMA fighter, and I know he's getting ready to fight. I don't know if I think it's this coming weekend. I think not this, but next weekend, he's fighting again. He fights over in Maine. So he's an MMA fighter. And if you get a chance, look up Bruce Boynton. Probably one of the nicest guys you meet, but you put him in the ring. I would never want to get into octagon. I would never want to get in there with him. He'll just destroy you. He is that good. He's fast. He's good. Outside the ring, he's a pussycat, he's a great dad. He's kind to everybody. He loves everybody. He has a martial arts school. And yes, I'm saying his name on here, Bruce Boynton. He's a good guy. Love him to death. There's a lot of those guys, I can tell you all the good qualities about each and every one of those guys that I ever served with, and they're all over the United States. My buddy Josh, who we were in the Marines together for some of the longest. Me and my best friend Dantes, we were in there longer, but Josh moved up to Maine from Virginia because he wanted to get away from everybody. He's got a house in the middle of nowhere now. It's going to take him like years to fix up, but he can do it. He's an electrician. Great guy. So anyway, who else on it? Hey, Bill. Hey, Cammy. Hey, Vince. How you doing? How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing good today. How you doing? Everybody's doing. Hope you guys are doing good today. How you doing, everybody? Oh yeah, a lot of my friends I haven't seen in a while. Well, I haven't done lives in a lot. I mean, I do every once in a while, and I'll put more things that are not lives up. But this year, I haven't been doing too many lives, and a lot of times, even though I know these people personally, and I know a lot of you guys personally, I have not been doing too many lives ever since my dad had a stroke, and I won a bunch of stuff. I had to get through a bunch of stuff. There was a bunch of stuff going on that I had to take a break. It was becoming too much. And, you go through a depression when you have to get through a lot of stuff, and, we're still getting through a lot of it. But on the other hand, you just got to believe in yourself. And I haven't done live feeds. So I do a lot of video feeds, just not live feeds. And then I'll take like this live feed and I'll put it also over on YouTube. So what else we got going on here? What are you guys doing today on this Sunday? How you guys doing? Hey, Billy, Cammy. What's everybody doing today? Let me know in the comments what you guys are up to and where you're from. I'm still trying to figure out who wants me, if I were to sell pies, and I was able to get them to you, um, a young lady on here from Texas wants my pies. You think people would buy them? Do you think it would be worth my time to make pies for people? Because every pie I make with love. I make my pies because I'm giving it to somebody, and so I take special care with it because I don't have to mass produce it or anything else. So every pie I make, but then I'm starting to think in my head right now, like those T-shirts that they do online, and the different, only a select few, and they put on there. I wonder if I did something like that, to where if I did strawberry pie, I'll make like 100 or 50. I'm not gonna make 100. I can make like 50, sell each one. When that's done, it's done. Then I'll go to a next pie, and then I'll do a next pie, and people that want them can get them. And if you get in too late, what do you think? Think that'd be a good idea? And then I could ship them. But like I said, I don't know if you're gonna like it or not, and I'd feel bad if you didn't like it. And I don't want to make something if you don't like it. But on the other hand, I've never had complaints. But then again, when you give people free stuff, they don't usually complain. People that complain when you give them something for free or do something nice for them at no cost, those are the people you don't really want to get around. Because they think they're entitled. And entitled people don't deserve anything. Because no one's entitled to nothing. None of us are entitled. All we are is we can just live each day, do the best we can with what we got. Because each and every one of us matters. Each and every one of you matter. Don't forget that either. So, but nobody's better than anybody else. You just might be faster, stronger. You might be a better cook, better chef, better, I could never cook properly like Gordon Ramsay. But here's the thing. I've never had Gordon Ramsay's food before. And I know a lot of people say they love it and, oh, it's great. But I'll tell you this right now. Growing up, okay, the different places I've been, I have had some of the best barbecue in the world, okay? Some of my aunts, some of my friends, some of my neighbors can cook anything. And I've been places where they can cook it. And I'm always afraid that if I ever tried like his food, it's not going to be the same as the people, that they are professional. They're just not, they may not have like 7 gold, whatever it is, whatever you get as a restaurant owner or whatever else, and they may not have TV shows, and they may only cook for their families. But I promise you that their food is probably better than all these chefs that you see on TV that, heck, when Martha Stewart, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, she's not a chef. She never went to school for it. She actually learned how to bake and cook from Julia Child's cookbook. And she just perfected it. And which is actually pretty neat if you think about it. So Martha Stewart, she really was the homemaker. She learned everything just like our moms and our grandmas all did. They learned from books, so they learned from the person next to them, which is actually pretty awesome. But Julia Childs, she was on TV. She was one of those personalities on TV. But she also, if I'm correct, she was a spy for the, or her husband was. I know she was too. I think there's a movie about it, but she was a spy for the British government. She worked for Scotland Yard or something like that. So, which is a pretty neat story. But, she was a awesome chef. So, and my favorite chef, though, and a lot of you guys, I know you guys know him, is, what was his name? Help me out here. I need some help. The guy down in Louisiana. Ooh, it's so good. The Cajun guy, always had the red suspenders on, blue shirt, always said, oh, it's so good. Oh, gosh, I just had his name in my head. Sorry about that, everybody. My brain's not working right. Not the Frugal Gourmet. What was his name? I'm having a brain fart, but anyway, he was awesome. So, anyway, I probably bored you guys enough today. Hope you guys have a great night, great evening. It's already 7 o'clock. Gee whiz, it's already 7 o'clock. Okay, my water's off now. I'm going to make sure I have it on timer. So, have a great evening, everybody. Hey, Sheila Often, Martin, user 498417597555, Jose. All right. Hey, before I get off here, know this. Each and every one of you matters. You're important. You know, keep pushing every single day. If you're down and out, just know things will get better. Okay? You are loved. Somebody out there does care about you. And you do matter, okay? So that being said, have a great night, everybody. I am going to finish my pie. And I got a few more things I got to do tonight. So you guys have a great night. I will look forward to talking with y'all later. Like I said, if you think it's a good idea, drop it in the comments. If you would buy pies, I'm going to see if I can see who would actually buy pies. All right, everybody. I will talk with you soon.